Hey everyone, Beckie Belote here. I'm a creative memories advisor from Newport News, Virginia. And today I am at my crop. My guest should be getting here pretty soon, so hopefully I won't have any early birds, and that way I'll be able to finish it. But if there's early birds, please know that they may be walking behind me. But thank you for watching. I have some great tips today. I noticed on my public Facebook page, a number of you were searching for getting organized ideas. For my own clients, I feel like I always show you these ideas, so I'm not so sure it's going to help, but I'm going to show you what I do to bring a lot of stuff if I need to, because if we go to retreats, we bring a lot of stuff, right? So I'm just going to show you how I bring my stuff, and hopefully some of this stuff will help you. Then I have a crazy easy, simple page spread because, we need to get caught up, right? I want my pages to be beautiful, but I also want them to be fast. And so this is our technique that you can use over and over again, changing up the papers, changing up the borders to get totally different layouts, borders and punches. So anyways, I hope you enjoy this. Thank you for watching. Hope you had an amazing Christmas. And it's almost 2026. So I hope that you have some great plans, whether it's staying cozy at home, over a dinner with friends, or if you get to go out. I hope it's great. Want to thank all my customers for such an amazing year. I really appreciate you just from the bottom of my heart, and it makes me feel very special when you watch me, and I see you when you make comments, and I don't see your likes. I don't know who's liking me, but I do appreciate the thumbs up. So thank you again, and let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna grab my camera, which is really risky because then I have to put it back up. Should I do the page layout first? I'm gonna do the page layout first. All right, and that way when I screw up my camera, it won't take me forever to get it back up. So I'm gonna show you where we're headed. I have showed this idea before. And if you're like me, you see an idea and you say, "Oh, I like that idea." And then you move on to looking for other ideas and you forget that you have an easy idea right in your back pocket that you could use anytime. So the one we're going to do today, let me go ahead and change my camera, and hopefully it's pretty good from last night. We've been cropping the last couple of days, so all right, perfect. So my camera should be not too far off. All right, so this is what I'm going to show you how to do today. Again, this is crazy simple. I'm going to point out some of the things I used on this page that I'm not going to show you when I actually do mine is is how you can use this aligner for this really crazy perfect spacing for your write-on strips. So write-on strips, you can cut them down to any size. Mine have clearly been cut down because this comes as a bigger sheet, but I like this width. So I cut them already to a particular width, and I just use my trimmer so that they'll be nice and straight. So I'm just showing you some of my haggard pieces that I've been working from. And then what you can do, um, and you don't have to have the blue boards. You can have our other board for this. I went ahead and put it this way and decided on a starting point for that strip. All right. And then I picked a starting point here and then this. All right. So after I stuck it down, I decided how many of these little lines. I think I chose one, two, three. I went over three little digits. Make sure you line it up on the top too, so that they're both over three little digits. Then I put my next write-on strip there, making sure that I started with the same little, whatever notch that you're looking on here, keep lining it up to that for the base part. All right. And then I went one, two, three, and put my next strip. So anyways, this is a great aligning tool that I think that you'll really love. These are still available, and you can now, I know for a time you can only buy them through your advisor. Now you can buy them yourself, but I hope that you'll pick an advisor. Even if it's not me, I sure hope you'll give one of our fellow sister advisors out there some credit for this. All right, so we'll put it back. So I'm going to point out other things. This was a mat. This is, by the way, tropical garden. Tropical garden. And all I needed was one piece of designer print. So I used one designer print for all this funny green. Actually, I may have actually broke into a second one for this mat. All right. This is a mat from the mat pack. So if you look at Tropical Garden, this is a nice, robust pack. It's got 2 packs of paper, stickers, mats, embellishments. It had a beautiful border maker cartridge that I did not use on this page, but it's really beautiful. This was a sticker from the pack. This was a sticker from the pack. And then I used this one, the Monstera leaf. Hopefully, a lot of you all have this one already because this goes great with Tropical Garden. And if you don't, it is still available. All right, so this is what I'm going to teach you how to make in a snap. And I'm going to pick some other colors so that you can see it from another vantage point. So I'm going to grab this piece of paper. And you really can cut any widths. I know that you all have seen me do this. I hope that you're not bored with this, but I just think it's so pretty and it can be used over and over again with lots of different looks. Before I do that, before I start cutting, I'm going to decorate. So that's the fun part. You're going to decorate it as a single page spread. So I'm going to throw this down there. This came from, let me show you, Mary. So it was the last strip that I had. Now, so these are laser borders, okay? They fit nicely in here. And when you buy laser border packs, I usually buy 2 if they don't come with doubles. And then I sort them. This is an organization tip. I sort them in here. And so I can very quickly see which ones are left. This was the only one that's left. So what I'm going to do with this one is move it to the next newest collection. So I'm not going to throw this away just because or leave it in here just because it's empty. I'm going to move it and reuse it for the next collection that has these borders, or I'm going to get more borders if I'm not done with Christmas, which in all actuality, I'm going to be getting more borders, so I'm going to leave it in here. I haven't done my Christmas yet. So you can decorate it. I usually put them towards the bottom or towards the top of it so that it leaves plenty of space for my photos. So I'm going to put this down towards the bottom. People always ask, are you putting these in your album? Not always, because I usually just use these to teach you guys, and then I actually sell them at my retreats. And I thought this would be pretty because this is kind of solemn for Christmas, isn't it? The candles. And then I'm going to add the angels. So I'm going to grab a piece of white. We are going to make some angels. So this is the border maker system. If you don't have this, treat yourself with that Christmas money to this amazing tool. This is probably, I mean, the value of this is amazing. It comes with everything you see here, except for this particular cartridge. It comes with the cartridge, though. It comes with a really cool cartridge. So I encourage you to get this if you haven't broken down yet. Every month we come out with these new cartridges. We're getting ready to come out with a brand new one in the new year. So I'm just going to need one of these because how many pieces of paper do we have? We just have one. All right, so this is going to be saved. I'm going to tuck this. Actually, I may be using it. Because I may be using it, I'm going to put it aside. When I'm finished with this page, if I haven't yet used it yet, it then gets restocked in the front of my, well, I'll show you in a minute, but I will put this back in as a scrap. This is a very, very good scrap that I will be keeping. All right. And so we're going to throw this down. Yeah. I think I like it just the way it is. Super pretty. I've seen some of you girls do some real pretty things with this angel. I've seen y'all add a cute little halo with the circle, but we're going to leave this as it is. We might add the halo later. All right, so that takes care of that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it up. All right, because I like to do double page spreads and I like to preserve my designer prints because we only get 2 in a pack and they're my favorite. So I like to preserve them when I can. So we're going to cut strategically. We have 12 inches here. I want to cut it all up. And I usually use a lot of symmetry, which means whatever I do for the left side, I'm going to also do with the right, but you don't have to. In fact, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go, I don't know. let's, yeah, I'm not going to make it complicated. I'm going to do 2 inches. Then I'm going to do 4 inches. Now you could, it really doesn't matter too much. I try to be consistent in my pattern. So that would be the left side of my page. On the right side of my page, I'm going to do the mirror image. So now I'm going to do a 4 inch, and then I'll be left with the 2. All right. So basically what we have is 2, 4, 4, 2. If you hadn't done that, if you done 2, 2, 4, 4, it would look great too. Sometimes the borders matter. In this case, I doubt anybody would notice. In most cases, I doubt anybody would notice. All right, and then we need a piece of paper to build on. I think I decided I was going to work on evergreen today. Let me see if I like it. Might want to go to white. I love white for Christmas too. All right, and you can put these anywhere you want to on your page. The one that I showed you, I believe I had it just like this, but you can put them anywhere you want. Looks like we went to a lot of effort to do this, and it really was so easy. All right. So we just had our first cropper come in. So she's gonna be so quiet. Hi, Jane. Good morning. And we're gonna go ahead and finish this. So we have this beautiful look. And then what I did on the one that you all saw, and I'm gonna show you and prove to you that that's what I did here. Um, I used the other piece to mat. So the one piece I cut up, here's your 2 inches, your 4 inches, your 4 inches, your 2 inches, upside down, of course. Let's put this right side up. All right. And then for the mats, I actually used my other piece of paper. So this is a mat from the back side of this piece of paper, a 4x6, a 4x6, two 4x4s. I had another 4x6 here, and then I cut this one into an oval. So I did use both sheets. But isn't that just beautiful? So these are stickers. This was a sticker border. Like I said, this was a sticker border. And so you can use sticker borders, you can use laser borders, you can punch out your borders. So easy to do. All right, is that super cool? So I will finish that one later. I think that you have the idea. Before I walk away from this, I am going to give you, I'm trying to think, do I want to show you one more idea? I do. I think I'm going to show you one more idea. All right, so let's go ahead. And let me show you where we're going first. So we're going to make this one. So this one is also made with tropical garden. By the way, the other one that I was creating was Magic of Christmas. I think I said that, but in case I didn't. Lots of things going on here. I am using the new the cutting system border tools for doing this. Crazy simple. I had the sea turtle punch, which I love the sea turtle punch. I love turtles. And so I used that for here. This is a mat from the mat pack that I cut a 1/2 inch around the interior perimeter. And then this came out of it. So I used this as a cute little embellishment with a sticker here. And then these we have these in all different colors, white, blue, green, black, and I left out one, a craft color. So these are great for doing borders. And again, you guys, I used this to help with my aligning. So this is a really great tool to make sure it's perfectly lined up. All right. And again, if you I don't know. Most of my customers are using two boards together. So I like to remind them just fold them back, and then you can go either direction, whether you want to go horizontal or vertical with this. Okay. So super cool. They slide really nice on it. All right. Some other things that I'm using on this page. I use the aligner here again to align my strips for writing on. And then this actually, I looked at that wheat punch and I saw sea kelp and sea life. I used to scuba dive, and to me, this, if you change the colors, this has a whole different look, doesn't it? This would make a great scuba diving page. All right, so we're going to make this one. And what I'm going to do to make this is you're going to need two pieces of paper. I wonder if we could get away with just one. I'm not going to play with that today because I haven't tried it. You need two pieces of paper. And if you look at this, what we have a top corner and a bottom corner. So this is important, all right? Because if you have a pattern, you don't want the pattern to be wonky. Like this one, you can see clearly that this is not going to be wonky. If I cut this like this, the bones are going to be perfect. So we want to make sure that the bones are perfect here and not like this or something like that. So that's probably what's most important here. So as usual, I'm going to tell you to fold them in. But after you fold them in, you know that this one is right. So I wouldn't lay it like this and expect doing a diagonal would give me a pretty look because that looks funky. But now I know this looks good. All right. I do want the bones to be folded on each other, but then you test it to see if it's going to be right. This corner is going to be down here. Is that right? No, that's not right. So we're going to rotate it and see if this is right. Is this right? That's right. All right. There only will be one corner that will work. All the others are going to be wrong. Actually, this one might have two. This one has two because it really is, there's not an upside down to these bones. All right. So this is good. All right. This is pet roughing it. It's called roughing it. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to grab whichever one you want. I used this one, I believe. Um, actually, I think I used this one. All right, but it doesn't matter. You can pick whichever one you want. I'm going to go ahead and use this one though. And remember, you can't just go like this because it's not going to fit nicely on your paper. So what you have to do is move your paper. All right, so what I did is I took the two corners of the papers and I pointed it at the six. And then I made sure that this part also was on both sixes. So if you lay it exactly the way you want, this is touching the six, this is touching the six, and this is touching the six. So now it is going the right direction. We are going to put this down and it's not gonna, let's see. All right, so what did I do? Did I care that it wasn't flush? Okay, I think what I did, I do want it to be flush on the paper. All I wanted to do was make sure we have a certain amount of, in other words, if I go over here, the paper is in the way for the ruler. So I'm going to go to the closest place, which is right here, where it is hugging on both sides of my board firmly in place so that I don't mess up. And I'm going to cut with the blue blade first. If you do two cuts, you always do the blue blade first. And I'm going to go out here. You could also do in here if you wanted to have kind of a different look. I'm gonna stay with the one that I showed you though, but this would work if you wanted to do more than one cut. So I'm going to start with the blue. I'm going to go here. I'm going to start on the paper. I'm going to reverse. And that's so that I don't tear my paper. I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on that border so it doesn't slide. And then we're going to do the red. I hear another cropper coming, so. All right. Now, put this away. All right. And then we're going to grab our piece of paper. I think I'm going to build on this yellow. All right. All right. So we've got different corners than I was anticipating, but we still did it right. All right. And then I don't know really how that came out that way. And then we put this back in. You can touch it or not and pull it separate. I like to pull it a little bit away from the corners because it gives that nice perimeter. And this one is here. All right. And then what I did in the other one to add a little fun is I added this border punch. This is the love, pet love. All right. And I'm going to do that. You're going to need more than one border to do this. Oh, good morning. I'm doing my Tip Tuesday, Connie. How are you today? Good. All right. This is one of those punches where the scraps are really super cool, because it spells the word love. So you may or may not keep those in one of your little storage containers. I think I'm going to do this here. And then you're going to need one more. You don't need the entire one because we don't have an entire side for the other one, but I'm going to go ahead and do an entire one anyways. Must have slipped somewhere. I'm not going to worry about it because it's not lining up. All right, so now we're just going to cut this full one is good. If you want to add a little fun to it, change out your blade. I have not been using rhythm very much because I lost it and I was too cheap to buy another one, but I finally broke down. So we're going to use rhythm today because it's super pretty. All right, and I'm going to line this up with the matte strip because that should be perfect. And then I'm going to go this way. Mm, I'm not sure that this is going to be perfect, but we're going to do the best. I'm going to tell you where I'm cutting in case it does come out perfect. What I'm going to do 1 1/4. Okay. And this one is going to go here. Is that super cute? And then the one that we partially did, let's go ahead and do that too. Line that up with the matte strip. Yeah. You can see where I went off down here because it's too close, right? But that doesn't matter because we're not going to need hardly any of it. I'm going to go ahead and line it back up at 1 1/4 just to be consistent. And then we will snip off just what we need. I'm going to go ahead, grab my scissors, put this under like that. Is that super cute? And then you have all of this to do your mats and everything with it, as well as any sticker combinations. Do you love this? All right, cool. So now I'm going to tidy up in front of you. So let's go over here. So at my feet, let me see if you can even see at my feet. Is that possible? Not well. Here, I'll pull this over. But it's at my feet. I keep this. I work out of this. This is the rotating tool caddy. And right now I'm going to simply drop these blades back in before I do my next page. This does not belong here, and I don't want to by accident lose it like I did lately. I most likely will not be using the twist on my next cut. I'm liable to do the twist on a photo and be mad at myself. So I'm putting the straight blade back in. I can always change it back out. So now that's tidied. I'm going to also drop both my scissors. I might leave my I'll be honest, I'm getting ready to use this, so I'm going to leave that out, but I'm going to go ahead and put my scissors back. And that way they're where I want them. Over here, I have some scraps. These are not going to be used. I'm not going to use them. I don't know about some of you all, but I'm not. And this one was, This one was a goof. It was not even right. So that's going to go in the trash. I'm not trying to salvage that. All right. Now my punches, I am done with my punches. I do not need this one. I'm going to throw it up into, and you're going to see where I'm putting those in just a second. I'm going to put those up there. This one where it belongs. And everything has a place, right? So let me put this down. This goes back into the folder that I took it from. I can tell right off that this is Tropical Garden as a place. I don't know why. Oh, because I slipped in, not on top. Everything has a place. Okay. All right. So now I'm pretty much go over here. This goes back in here. I just find if you do this occasionally when you're scrapbooking that you'll get more accomplished. So with the most recent change to our border maker system, I will say that I have found myself to be so much more productive with my space. All right, so let me go ahead now, and I'm going to take this off so that I can do a little better on some of my other things. All right, so let's see if I can get it so we're not upside down. So this is my space. So I have a standard 6-foot table like most of you all use, hopefully, at your crops and stuff. And you can see how much working space that I have here. Now, see, even my laptop is on there, which you all probably don't have to deal. Look at Connie over there. Say hi, Connie. All right. And there's Jane. Say hi, Jane. They showed up early for my crop, so that's why they're here. But it's really actually kind of crop time right now. All right. So there's over there my remote for my TV, which you probably don't have to deal with that either. Okay, but we have a TV in here today. All right. So um, these are the border punch organizers, and these have really changed my organizational life. Now, if I were going to go to a retreat, it would do you some justice to look at your photos before you go. All right, to take that very seriously. You're clearly probably, if you are backlogged in photos, you're probably not bringing all of them to the retreat, or you shouldn't, because they're heavy and you don't want to lose them, like that. Just everything that you bring. I can't tell you how many times somebody said, "Did you find a bag that I left at the crop?" So when you have so many bags, you have a chance of losing things. So don't bring too many. All right, but look at them, take them serious. So if you don't want to bring every punch you have because that will break your back and you are not necessarily going to need them. And the reality is if you left one at home that you end up needing, someone else probably brought it, right? All right, so kind of keep that in mind. So I am using these with a standard, this is a door jamb that you can get at any hardware store, Amazon, Walmart. I bought mine at Ace, very inexpensive, less than, $2 a piece. And I am using those to prop these up at this angle. They very easily come in and out this way, and I can very easily see what each punch is. But when you're bringing your punches, I bring all of the current ones for my croppers in case they left one at home that they need. However, if I was going to a crop personally, which I am actually getting ready to go to a crop with my upline in Atlanta, Georgia, and I will not be bringing all of these. So I will look at my pictures, and if I'm not working on home improvements, I do not need this hammer one. If I am not working on Christmas, I do not need, well, we might use gingerbread for something else, so I'm not going to say that. But you really can eliminate some of them. Admission tickets, is there anything in my stuff that I'm going to be working on with the admission ticket? Any carnivals, any events that I would need that for? If not, I'm leaving it home. So you can be very picky. Am I going to work on canning? Or I saw somebody do something really cool with that. What did I see? I don't know, but I remember seeing something different. But anyways, but some of the generic ones, like this one, the beaded oval, I could see that for all kinds of different things. That geometric one, the rainbow, like ones that are pretty miscellaneous, I might bring all of those. So I'm happy. This is really giving me a lot of space. And then to add to that, I have the one that's designed for here's my other one. And I have the ones that are actually designed for these punches sitting on top of it. Now, I have to stand up to see them, but to me, it's a trade-off. I like my clear space on my table. All right, it gives me more room to mess it up. No, but seriously, it does make it feel like I have more space. All right, and then beside me, because I use this so often, is my border maker system. And I am putting that in the border maker, the tool organizer designed for that. So we have different size trays, different types of trays. You can actually get up to 3 trays in these if you want. If you are not needing to store the tool itself in there. All right, you can get up to 3. And I know some of you have way more border cartridges than me, but I only have the current ones, and so this is enough for me. And if I had a zillion like some of you all do, I would only bring the ones that I thought that I would be working on. Okay. If I'm not going to go canoeing, this one can stay at home, if they're not in my photographs. All right. And some of the ones that, if I'm working on beach, I'm definitely going to have the river wave. I'm going to have the sunglasses. If I might not need the winter boots unless I was going to do something with maybe we were hiking or something. So kind of keep in mind. And again, we have a whole nother layer under here of punches. But what I want you to again to see is how much space I have. You would have this space where my computer is as well. And it's going to make you feel really good about yourself to store it like this. So where's everything else? So let's look down here. All right, so actually let's look over here. I'm going to put this back in so it doesn't look messy. And you won't get the point. And I just kind of stuffed it in there. Okay, so we have all kinds of, let me see. We have all kinds of different storage containers. I harp on the Power Project folders. They're, ooh, ooh, I almost spelled something. These are my absolute favorites. And you know how the company every month they tell us we have a new line and they'll say these lines coordinate with it. So when they do that, I go to those lines. If I have those lines in my stuff, I go to them, and if there are extra pieces from that line, I will merge them into this line if I want to. And a lot of times I want to. Why? Because older lines, I've used up most of them. And they're just a folder that's sitting there that I never go to because I'm tired of it. I like the new, just like you all do, right? You can have a perfectly good sweater in your closet and it doesn't get worn. Why? Because you're sick of it. And it's the same thing with our paper supply. Um, so I would go ahead and merge it so that it doesn't get wasted if it's still really cool, but it doesn't really match or not really needed in where it is now. All right. And then I don't bring, we have these small ones and we have the big ones. So I have big ones. I have big ones at home with the stuff that I'm not working on today. So when I came to this crop these last 2 days, I knew exactly what I was not going to be working on. So I bring the small one. It does not break my back with just the ones that I will be working on. And so anyways, this one I really highly recommend. And so when you're looking at our organizers, look for the one that's only about 6 inches wide and it has a lid. All right, so when I'm done here, I can cover it up. It has a handle on the top. I can carry it with one arm. I do not put pressure on my back. Got to take care of my back. My husband has enough back problems without me starting that stuff. All right. And so then at my feet down here, I have my pens. All right. Again, when I'm ready to journal, I will pull my pens out, but right now I don't need those. All right, over here at my feet, we already talked about my caddy is here. I work out of that. And then underneath, let me see if I can pull this so that things don't fall. Underneath, I have, let me see. Come on, camera. Let me pull it out a little bit. All right, so I have a new tool. This is a new so this little guy is just a big hole. Um, in other words, it's just an empty tote. It's very similar. In fact, it's exactly like these, except for it doesn't have the foam in there. And so you can put whatever you want to in there. I have added the mini one of these with handles. I wish I knew the names, but just look, does it have handles? Does it not have handles? All right. And this one I put in there to make it more compartmentalized. Um, I have, gosh, all right. So this right here is the memory mate. tote, I think. And I have my inking stuff in there. I have I have this thing in here, which is that anti-stick powder, which I use. I didn't have any more room for this punch in my bins. I didn't want to bring a whole nother bin for just a few punches, so that's why that's down there. And then the embosser tool, which hopefully we'll have those soon for everybody to buy, but that's down in there. So that's a good one. All right. And then over here is my cardstock. So I am storing that in this bag that we got, that we were selling earlier in the year. However, we have other, again, one of these would work also for your cardstock if you'd like, to keep right at your feet. I am using you can still buy these the things for they're plastic files that just have color. So I know that all my paper that is this color is right behind there. All right. And as I was talking about earlier, there'll be full sheets and then scraps. These are my scraps. They are closest to the actual plastic. The full pieces are behind. And I do not save every little scrap. I just can't, again, I cannot waste my back like that. Paper is $1 a sheet. And I find if I have space that I am much more productive. So that is basically how I have organized my stuff and oh, didn't show you over here. So over here we have my rolling cart. Again, we don't have one of these right now, but I know a lot of you have rolling carts, and I hope the company will come out with one soon. One way to get things like this back is to beg them. Send an email to product suggestion at creativememories.com and tell them that you need one. Our bag for storing our trimmers in hangs on the back. I'm kind of embarrassed at the way this looks, but it's really functional for me. This is where I store my brochure pockets, my foam squares, my peekaboo pockets, my ride-on strips. And when I'm done here today, I will zip this up. Inside, all of your trimmers fit. So the big trimmer, the small trimmer, and all of these, all three of these, the crazy ones, as well as the aligner will fit in there. And if you don't put those in there, your decorative trimmer, your old decorative trimmer will fit in there also. So I keep this hanging on the back. I'm not working with photos today, so that one is still intact in there, but it's easy to reach because this thing rolls around, right? And then inside of the roof, I have some of my adhesives that I use for special things like my photo tape, my here's a refill. These are empty for just in case, for those times that you may lose it. And then I also store my binder in here. My binder has my ABC letters and my die cut letters in there, as well as my recipe templates. So I can easily get in there if I need it, but it's kind of out of my way. All right. So that is me in a nutshell. That's how I organize. So thank you so much for watching and have a great week. If you need an advisor, I would love for you to support me. I would love, love, love it. And my website is www.creativememorieS.com/user/Beckie, Beckie, Belote, Belote. Bye. Say bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Happy